our first foreigner. Woo! I have no idea how much Cambodian you are.
Definitely in my heart.
I thought it's maybe too sensitive to talk about money in a podcast. Actually, I was like, okay, where did he get the money?
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't get the money. That's the answer. So you've got to educate the future generation, not work on a system that was built 200 years ago.
He was like, I don't know, 13, 12 years old, and he just came back from Ratanakiri from researching minority music, minority song, and he was writing it on a website. Proposing actual realistic solution to world problems.
If you want to change your country, you have to understand your country. And to understand your country, you have to experience your country, not just read about it. The experiential learning that got them into those colleges. What do you mean you were 12 years old and you wrote a book about the
Cambodian
economy?
Yeah.
Artificial reefs off the coast of Cambodia, and now you're, it just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
There's so much through school that kills students' curiosity. And if you're wrestling with a problem, your brain embeds that code deeper than if you just read the solution.
True. It's like a fit.
That's the $1 million question.
I know.
Right?
I used to joke like it's like a military training.
Yeah.
You have to sleep at 9:30.
Yeah, well, okay, I get that.
When you walk in, you see those kids. Those are the kids that have proven a value, not the score.
Because integrity is doing the right thing when no one else is watching.
Yeah.
This student had no idea that anyone was watching, and one of the facilitators saw it happening. And that's integrity.
Chúcសួរដំ
សួរណា
សុខសប្បាយ
សុខសប្បាយអរគុណសុខសប្បាយ
អូយសុខខ្លាំងណាស់ចា You want to start introducing yourself in Khmer?
អូពិបាកហើយ អូខេខ្ញុំឈ្មោះដំហើយខ្ញុំធ្វើការឲ្យ AUPP Liger ខ្ញុំកាញាខ្ញុំ Executive Advisor and Strategist ហើយខ្ញុំធ្វើការឲ្យ Liger តាំងពីឆ្នាំ2010 បាទយូរ ហើយ Nobel Liger was a foundation
មូលនិធិ
ការងារខ្ញុំនាយក
ចា
ប៉ុន្តែ Nobel យើង became ខ្លាយជា private school with an AUPP have taken on ខ្ញុំ LO ការងារ ខ្ញុំ Executive Advisor and Strategist.
What is that?
Good question. It's a title I made up. Basically, it means that I'm going to have to go into English now. Okay.
Good enough. Good enough.
So it's a title I gave that I thought suited the role that I could still do and still help the transition from a foundation to a private school in terms of big picture, international connections, retaining the culture that we had built in over a decade at Liger, but being able to turn my phone off at night. If there's a toothache or somebody sick, I would get calls any time of the night, any time of the day, 7 days a week. And I did that for 14 years. And I was like, I think I achieved everything I needed to achieve as the country director, which the initial goal was to lessen a country's dependence on international aid by raising the HR in that country. I believe we achieved that. And then with AUPP coming in and taking on Liger curriculum and developing, transitioning into a private school, then it's now owned by Cambodians. So the education system is no longer reliant on international aid. So for me, it was job done on that level, but I don't want to walk away. I still want to help.
That's why you are now an advisor and strategist.
Exactly.
Okay. Can you give me just 30 seconds just for my audience? Because I think this is the first podcast we will be doing in English.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel...
Oh, by the way, you are our first foreigner. Woo!
I feel honoured, but I feel like I've dishonored Cambodia by not being able to speak Khmer well enough.
You have no idea how much Cambodian you are.
Definitely in my heart. I feel absolutely Cambodian.
Okay.
I'm very proud of that.
Alright so just excuse me for 30 second សម្រាប់បងប្អូនយើង podcast មួយនេះនឹងធ្វើជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសដោយសារគាត់និយាយខ្មែរបានតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងទេហើយគាត់ជាជនជាតិបរទេសប៉ុន្តែរស់នៅស្រុកខ្មែរយូរហើយគឺជាមនុស្សម្នាក់ដែលខ្ញុំគោរពមែនតើដែលបានជួយទៅលើការអប់រំនៅក្នុងស្រុកខ្មែរច្រើនបានផ្លាស់ប្ដូរជីវិតកុមារដែលរាល់ថ្ងៃជាយុវវ័យបានច្រើនមែនតើដែលជាធនធានមនុស្សដ៏ល្អសម្រាប់ប្រទេសកម្ពុជាយើងអញ្ចឹងសម្រាប់បងប្អូនយើងសូមអធិស្ឋានផងថា podcast មួយនេះនឹងនិយាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសប៉ុន្តែបើខ្ញុំយកទៅកាត់ខ្លីៗកន្លែងណាដែលខ្ញុំយល់ថាចាំបាច់ខ្ញុំនឹងព្យាយាមបកប្រែដាក់អក្សរខ្មែរខ្លះឬអីខ្លះតាមជាក់ស្ដែងពីព្រោះក្រុមការងារយើងធ្វើ podcast នេះគឺធ្វើ free ទាំងអស់គ្នាអញ្ចឹងយើងក៏អត់មានក្រុមការងារអង្គុយបកប្រែអង្គុយអីនៅឡើយទេអញ្ចឹងសូមអធិស្ឋានផងចាចូលឡៃសុំមួយទៀតបើសិនជាកំពុងតែមើលនៅលើ YouTube អីជួយចុច subscribe ឲ្យខ្ញុំមួយផងចាដើម្បីក្រុមការងារខ្ញុំឯណាមានកម្លាំងចិត្តនៅក្នុងការធ្វើ podcast តទៀតចាព្រោះ podcast យើងអត់មាន sponsor ទេចាដូងនេះគឺប្តីអ្នកទិញឲ្យព្រឹកមិញចា Alright we're just saying for our audience that this will be in English okay but you will be learning Khmer right?
I am. I've started my lessons again. Yes, I need
okay
to.
Now my husband have prepared these 2 pages and I believe this is an 11 font size so it's a 10 oh my god have you seen this
No, but I would rather come unprepared and just answer.
I know and I had a look at it and it was all about the school the education the human resources but you know what I realized when I was reading this I realized for the past 3-4 years that I've known you, there has never been time that I have with you more than, I don't know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we always talk about the school.
Awesome.
So how about I let my husband down?
That's you're going to have to fight that battle, not me.
And I wanted just to get to know you a little bit better. And I feel it's a little bit unfair because I think you know me a little bit better than I know you.
I think everybody knows you, Nana.
Okay. Now, walk me back to how you started your journey with Cambodia.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm Australian. My wife is English, born in London. I moved to London when I was 18.
Met your wife there?
Yes. Well, not then, not until a lot later on, but I met her in London, yes.
Uh-huh.
She was actually my boss. Yeah, she still is. So we, long story, had our own business in London, very successful. We did very well there, and we had our first child. He was born in 1999, and my wife had some very serious issues through childbirth, and we couldn't have any more children. And long and short, after a couple of years, we both had decided we wanted to have another child. We wanted to adopt. So I'd grown up in Australia, and I knew I had studied Cambodian history.
In school?
Yeah. I graduated in 1979, so it was obviously.
What major you have to learn?
This was just through general geography and history and things that we were doing at school.
Wow, and you learn about Cambodia.
Yeah, not deeply, but
I know.
I knew the struggles. I knew what was happening here. So I
Really?
knew that, and it always stayed with me. And this was like many years. This was 2002. Now we're talking, So
That's not too long ago.
no, but this is 79 when I graduated, and then 2002 we were talking about adopting. And my wife and I had both traveled through Southeast Asia independently when we were younger. We both loved Southeast Asia. We'd never been to Cambodia, but when we started talking about adoption, for lots of reasons and no reasons, Cambodia was just forefront of my mind. And Cambodia had only opened adoptions internationally a year before that, and there were only 9 adoptions to the UK from Cambodia.
Right.
So we investigated it, and then we went through the adoption process, and that took nearly 2 years. And our daughter came home to us.
So you have a Cambodian daughter.
Yes.
You see, I really didn't know you at all. This is brand new information. So you adopted a Cambodian daughter
Yeah.
to Australia,
No, to UK.
to UK.
But when I came here the first time, it was 2003.
But you came here to Cambodia for the adoption purpose,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes. So I came here first to see a bit of the country, if we were going,
Yeah.
if this was real. And when I went back, I said to my wife, this is not about taking one child out of that country. That country needs some help. And we spent a long time trying to find her, and she came home to us, and we knew from there that we had to do something for the country. So we then founded our own charity, which still runs today, the Cambodian Children's Charity, Cam Kids. Right now, we have a school that we've built. I'd love you to come down and see it one day. We built a school and a medical centre, a small medical hut in Kampong Spoo, where nobody was going to school. We now have this year about 460 students that we support through kindergarten to grade 6. We support then the students when they graduate from grade 6. If they can't afford it, we buy them bicycles because it's like a 30-minute ride to the nearest secondary school. We support them with books and uniforms as they go through secondary school. And to the best of our knowledge, when we started there, nobody from those villages had ever been to university. Currently, 5 of our staff, we have generational impact. 5 of our staff are locals who have went through our school, we put through university, and have come back to teach children from their village again at our school. So it's something that I'm so proud of.
My God. Now I believe in law of attraction. You know why? Because my husband and I was like, why did we agree with you the first time we met when you were like asking for a few help from us?
Yeah.
We didn't even come back and talk with each other. We were like on spot. We say, yeah, we will have you, whatever you need. Ah.
I was shocked at that too. Because it was our operations manager, Saboon, who made the contact, and we met with Saboon. And I couldn't believe it when you and your husband said, yes, you would support. And truly, it has been the biggest support that has been given, and a large part of the reason why we are still here.
Oh my God, it's giving me chills because, like I said, now I believe in the law of attraction because you are that person. You've been doing so much for my country, more than me, I need to say.
And I didn't, I don't do Cam Kids on my own. My wife does a lot more. She's the country director for Cam Kids. She does a lot more of the day work. We have a trustee in the UK. So 4 of us founded the charity. And that was 2006 we founded the charity, but it's still going very strong.
Oh my God. Okay. So the charity came first or the Liger came first?
The charity came first.
Okay.
So
and then what happened?
Well, what happened was in 2009, myself and my wife decided to leave London, sell everything, and move to Australia. But we decided to have a family gap year in Cambodia. We'd come back almost every year if we could afford it to bring Tiavi, our daughter, back. And so we came back every year and to consolidate our project at Cam Kids. And we decided, let's have a family gap year where we come here and really work on Cam Kids. And the idea was for her and I to work less and me to do more photography and her to do more of her art. None of that ever happened. We got busier than we ever were in London.
I know.
But that was in 2010. So that, 1 year gap year on our way to Australia. Both of our children have made it. They're both in Australia now. Myself and my wife are still here. Cambodia opened its arms and it's home.
Okay. So how did you came about to Liger?
We ran out of money. So
for
a
your
lot of
charity.
people said it was a brave thing to do, to sell everything, come over here and spend a year and go. A lot of other people said it was a very foolish thing to do. But we've both worked for ourselves our whole lives, so we're not scared of taking risks and we're not scared of the unknown. And we knew if we ran out of money or something, we'd find something to do. We'd be okay. And we did.
Yeah.
We ran out of money.
5 minutes ago, I secretly wanted to ask about money, but I thought it's maybe too sensitive to talk about money in a podcast. Actually, I was like, Okay, where did he get the
How
money?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't get the money. That's the answer. So,
Okay, so you ran out of money.
We ran out of money. And my wife said, look, we either go to Australia now or we need to get jobs here.
Okay.
And literally that's when Cambodia opened its arms. You know, my wife is still, started working for an interior design company. She's now the GM and with a whole Cambodian team. She's incredible what she's done. She's so talented. And I, through one of the children's centres that Camp Kids was supporting, I got introduced to the operations manager. Liger had just bought the land out at Champaka 8. And so I got introduced as somebody who might be able to build the school. And I went out there and I said, well, I can't build it, but I can help. At that
you had some experience.
At that point, I was taken on as a consultant, and then I project managed the build of the first campus. Then I went out they brought in the first education director, and I was deputy director, and I went out around schools and around provinces to try and recruit. So I was part of the first recruitment. I was the first drive out there and the first recruitment for Liger. And then beginning of 2012, they asked me to become country director, and that was me until end of 2024, 25, 24, yeah.
My God. Oh, yeah. Dumb. Oh, my
story.
God.
You shouldn't have asked. Everybody switched off by now.
No. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Now I understand. Yeah. Oh, okay. Got chills. All right. So you actually created Camp Kid first, and then you came into Liger, and you stay Liger until now. I mean, the position changed a little bit, but for me, you're just Liger. Doesn't matter how many titles you change, and you know how obsessed I am with Liger.
I do. Thankfully, yeah.
Oh, our family is so obsessed with Liger. Okay. Why education? Because even when you came here, and when you came and you see your daughter home, you said they need some help. And those answer to the help was education, even before Liger.
For sure, education. Well, Camp Kids was set up as 4 pillars. We call it Project MEND, Medical, Education, Nutrition, Development, because life is multifaceted, right? Nothing ever happens on its own.
Right.
So without good medical, the children can't go to school.
True.
Without nutrition, they haven't got health, so they're not going to go to school.
Right.
And without development of the community and trying to understand the community and help the community as a whole develop, those children are still going to be taken out of school because they are potential income earners for very poor families. So we believe that it's not just education in silo. It needs to be more of approaching the whole,
like an ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. Holistically done,
Yeah, but you do other things so that kids can go to school.
Yes.
So that was my question. Why schooling was a majority thing for you?
Well, education and a proper education. I'm not saying school.
Right.
Right? Different. So education is the only thing that's ever changed the world.
True. Very true.
And so if you want to change the world, you've got to educate the future generation. It just seems amazing to me in so many countries, and I'm not talking about Cambodia here, I'm sort of globally. There's not enough emphasis on how we educate children, considering that they are going to run the world. Like, we need to really put more thought into how we're doing things. Not work on a system that was built 200 years ago.
Especially now.
The world is changing so fast.
Super fast. Oh my God, I couldn't catch up.
And that's exactly right. That's what I would say. People say, "Oh, what about the future?" I'm going, the present is the future now.
Yeah.
If you think you're already here, you're already in the past because things are changing so quickly. And people have asked, how would you do things differently, right? And I think it's not about how you would have done things differently. It's about what we do now.
Differently.
What we do now, because that is going to be
True.
you know.
Okay. I like when you stress, not school, education.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't have to be always school.
Yes.
Right. So I wanted to.
And school is not always education.
That is so true. That is so true. Which also lead me, okay, now not to upset my husband, not to exclude everything that that he prepared. I think he put the topic here, learning. I think that's emphasized really well of what you have just spoke about.
Yeah, exactly. I think we just touched on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like learning. Let's go back to when Liger just started.
Yeah.
What was the mindset or indicator or expectation of how you designed that curriculum? I mean, not you alone, of course. I was very honored and fortunate that I met the founder, Mr. Trevor and his wife. So I understand a little bit.
Yeah.
But, when I met him, I had, half hour?
Yeah.
So I wanted to understand the background, just get to know those two brilliant minds. So I didn't ask about the school. Yeah. But walk me through a little bit the process of how you define what necessary or why that like a curriculum, because I think the curriculum is like the foundation. Of course, it's all about operation as well, but how you build it was so amazingly, I don't know, scientifically, I'm not sure because
No.
But
not scientifically.
Okay, but I mean, I've really seen the result because I meet these kids throughout the years, throughout event that I host, event that they join. Like the kids, I really see the result. So I wanted to go back of how the design of the curriculum came about. This is not to say that other curriculum is not good. This is not to say that different thing is not good.
Yeah.
But because it was so unique at that, I have seen in my own eyes how these kids grow up. I just wanted to understand how those curriculum was designed. It was based on what criteria, what were your expectations when you crafted it?
Okay, so the short answer that I've given before, and then I'll talk a little bit more, is that the idea didn't even start with education for the founder. He wanted to lessen a country's dependence on international aid by advancing the HR in the country.
Human resources.
Yeah, exactly. So to do that, education is the tool to do that, as we just discussed, right? Mm-hmm. And then for me, what I've always said is if you want to change your country, you have to understand your country. And to understand your country, you have to experience your country, not just read about it.
True.
You can read about 100 countries. It doesn't mean you understand them. You
True.
need to be there. I've been in Cambodia now 16 years. After 2 years, I thought I understood what Cambodia was.
I know, that's what usually happens when you're just a few years in.
After 5 years, I was like, what was I thinking 2 years ago? Now I get it. After 10 years, I'm going, no. In 16 years, I think the beauty is I don't understand it all. And I don't think anybody ever has to. So, but the more that you can understand it and experience it, the better equipped you are to make some changes. Let's think of this as a motor mechanic. I know nothing about engines. And if I drive a tuk-tuk, so let's take my tuk-tuk. If my tuk-tuk breaks down, it's broken down, it won't start. I don't know how to start it again because I don't understand it. I've never had the experience of working on engines, so I can't do it. I have to get someone else. That can apply right up the chain to countries, finding someone from outside with that experience. What we wanted to do is give that experience to Cambodians and make sure they understood how their country worked and therefore where it needed some help, and then have the ability and the drive
True.
and the desire to do that. So it was really about giving a very different education, but trying to ensure that our graduates would be more Cambodian than they would have been had they gone to any other school. It was really about really embedding who they are and and what their country is.
you have just mentioned is not totally new. I heard it before, but you need to experience it to understand it. The one thing that was so surprising to me was that when you say graduates, you didn't mean university. You didn't mean master degree. You didn't mean 25 years old. These kids was like, when I met them, they was like 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were so young. When I first arrived at the school so many years ago, when I was a news reporter, and I did a news piece about your school, they was like this small. And I still remember, I asked, like, what are you doing? Say, I just came back from Ratanakiri. I wasn't allowed to go to Ratanakiri when I was 18 because I'm a girl and I haven't grown up. He was like, I don't know, 13, 12 years old, and he just came back from Ratanakiri from researching minority music, minority song, and he was writing it on a website. And this was almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And now a few days ago, I went to your school, AUPP Liger, and they were proposing actual realistic solution to world problem
Yes.
on your entrepreneurship.
Yep.
So this is what I wanted to ask. How did you came about? Were they not too young?
I think that's what everybody said. So first, our cohort 1, you're right. The first book that we published and wrote was...
No, when you say
The
we,
economy.
it wasn't
No,
you.
they.
It was the kids.
I say we because we're all in it together, right? I want to get some...
No, but I want
to write on their back. Yeah.
I want our audience to understand.
No,
those,
it was them.
Those who never know Liger or never visited now AUPP Liger, but Liger back then before, when they say they wrote a book about Cambodian economy, it's the kids. It's
Yes.
not the teacher.
No, not at
Okay.
all.
So when
They traveled around the country. They went to each province. They put together the book. None of it is, from any websites. All their wording. It was written for students, for children, about the economy of Cambodia. Because the Minister for Education had given me his book, and he said it took him 10 years to write.
I know.
It was way too... I couldn't understand it. I'm not smart enough to understand it. So we said to our students, what do you understand about the economy? It's a word that everybody hears, but it's a very hard word to define.
Yeah, true.
Right? So they were 12 and they're like, I'm not sure. And we're like, okay, then you need to learn about the economy. And what better way to do it than here's the minister's book, write your book about the economy so that other children can understand what it means.
Yeah, but
right?
that book doesn't seem to be for children. I didn't understand it.
Was written in English and Khmer. So it's a dual language book. The top lawyer in Cambodia is a good friend of mine. He used it as a Khmer reference so he could read the Khmer, check in the English to see if he was getting it correct. Right? It's been used in universities here as reference book.
Yeah.
And it was written by 12-year-olds.
I know.
It's insane. How did we get there? We got there by the same way that we expect our students to get there. We made mistakes. It was trial and error. It was an entrepreneurial idea. It was a startup, if you like. And so we would try, okay, we've got to get better at that. We always covered the core subjects because let's talk about entrepreneurship. You need your MVP, right? You need the minimum viable product. Well, the minimum viable product at that time was these children need to get admission to Cambodian university. That was the parents' goal when we met them. Right, we will deliver that, but we'll deliver much more. We didn't realize how much more we were going to deliver. And
so it was
again, I say we.
It was the kids.
It's the students, right? We didn't realize how much more the students were going to deliver.
No, you have to stop even say student. You have to say kids because they were literally kids.
That's true.
It confusing me when you say student. I was expecting university student, not the kids.
Yeah.
I went with my the other time I went with my production team because we were doing a TV series about environment. And so I have adult actor and actresses. And we went there and we were talking about environment. Of course, for us, when we talk about environment, what we understand is throwing rubbish and the bin, recycle. But then we let the kid did the presentation for us. They were like, according to the Ministry of Transport, there were this amount of used car import. And our actors and actresses who was like 30 years old was like, admission? Air pollution?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So you didn't, so it was also beyond your expectation, right? Of how they achieve and how they turn up to be.
And how quick it happened was definitely beyond. Like, we did not expect 12-year-olds to write a book of that caliber and to have it recognized. And the foreword is written by His Excellency Dr. Hong Chun Aron.
Yep,
he was so impressed with it. He said, I'll write the foreword, I'll write the introduction.
Yeah.
So, and he is such a inspirational man. Like, we would not have got to where we got to without his vision and understanding what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Because he allowed us to really explore our own curriculum and the experiential side, of the project-based. And we had our education director at the time, Jeff Holty, was a maverick in education. He is such a font of knowledge about education, but he was an entrepreneur. He was always pushing new ways. And so myself and Jeff were a great partnership, because I'd worked for myself my whole life, and I would say, what about we do this? And Jeff would go, that's great, we can do this with it. And I can't put that into a curriculum, Jeff. And he's like, I can. So it was great. I could just have these ideas, and Jeff would, and not all mine, obviously, but Jeff was a huge driving force in how we set the projects up and how those evolved. So, it was a great partnership.
Yeah. Is that why your theme now is Learning?
I think so. If you talked to Jeff and I at the beginning, what we had to people who came to us, especially accredited, teachers, licensed teachers, they had to relearn teaching. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
You can't relearn learning if you're teaching old metrics and old methods. You have to relearn how to teach before kids can learn.
Yes, please.
I nearly said it again. Before kids can learn how to relearn, right?
True.
So it's a partnership all the way through.
True.
The days of the teacher standing up the front of the class and telling the student everything they need to know is gone. A lot of our students and children and kids know more than we do. So we've got to know when to get out of their way and just guide them rather than lead them all the time.
Yeah. Give me one example of exam, for example, because how do you grade the result of the kids?
Sure. Well, we never set out to be a college prep school, and we wanted, the experiential is really what differentiates us from many, many other sort of systems. At the same time, it's currently still important to have that piece of paper that can get you into certain jobs, right?
True.
So we cannot ignore being academically rigorous. And so it's not like some school where everybody goes and just does their own thing and projects all day. We have gone through, we still assess on traditional subjects in traditional ways.
Yeah.
I guess the best way to look at it is it's sort of like 50-50, but people didn't believe we could do that 50% and have 50% of the day roughly at secondary school in experiential real life learning and still prepare students for college and university. Well, they were wrong. Like, we've had 103 graduates, 42 of them have gained scholarships in the US. And I'm talking about Princeton, Dartmouth, Cornell, Northwestern. These are huge schools.
Yeah.
Nagoya in Japan, UBC in Canada. It's been incredible. Like I say, so we assess in a way, if you want to go to US, you have to have your SAT score. Our students' SAT scores were good enough to be considered. They certainly weren't the best in the world. And there would be literally 1 million other students around the world with the same level SAT scores as them. What got them into those universities was what they had done. It was their experiential learning that got them into those colleges. What do you mean you were 12 years old and you wrote a book about the
Cambodian
economy?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
These other things. What do you mean you were working on CubeSat and trying to launch Cambodia's first satellite into space, and you went to China, for a conference? What do you mean you've deployed artificial reefs off the coast of Cambodia and now it just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
So their resumes were incredible because of what they had built and what they had done, not just what they knew.
Wow. I didn't get the chance to learn about Liger when I was in the age that could go to Liger. But I think, again, going back of why we say yes to you so quick, again, law of attraction. Because that's how I grew up. That's how I become who I am today.
Yep.
I started working when I was 15 and go on my own. And now going back to my earlier question about, weren't you afraid that they were too young? No such thing as too young.
No.
The kids actually were much more capable than we know of. I think because of the love of the parents, the teachers, or a system in which we wanted to be careful so that they are not going to danger themselves, so that they are not going to be too stressful and maybe too difficult.
Yeah.
That resulted in a way that we didn't think that this should be their task. But once you give them that task and they have the freedom to do it in a way that they enjoy, they're actually much more capable than what we can imagine. Because we didn't grow up that way. So we thought that might be too hard for them.
Yeah.
Results have shown so differently, and I was so happy.
Look, you're so right. You hit it right there. It's like, when did we ever, as a race, consider that this is what you can learn when you are 12, and you can't learn this until you're 13?
Yeah.
Imagine taking that through the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Right. No, you're 45. You can't learn that yet.
Yeah.
You'll learn that when you're 46. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So, and especially the way the world has changed, and your access to knowledge now is so different, right? To what, I'm not going to compare us because I'm a lot older than you. when I grew up, my access to knowledge was go to the library and find a book and do it. The access to knowledge now, I could not have dreamt how people can access knowledge these days and then what you can do with it. So how do we still think that people should be confined about what they learn at a certain age?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What about now in the era of AI? Because that's a different thing, right? That was very different from 10 years ago.
For sure.
Yeah, because now in a lot of curriculum, even from Australia, from the US, or from Canada, there is a thing called 2.0 or 3.0
Yes.
because we have arrived on an era, not to say good or bad, in which we have no choice but to adopt AI in our lives. So how have Liger shifted or prepared?
So I think you're right. We have no choice, right? There's no point being scared of it or closing your mind to it. It's here, and it's the worst it's ever going to be is now, and it's very good now. Right? So it's going to get better. I think this is the first time, and I'm not a historian, but I would say I think this is the first time in history that we've had a revolution that is both bottom up and top down.
True.
So like the Industrial Revolution was a bottom-up revolution, right? People who were manual workers, they got replaced by machines, so they worked in factories.
Yeah.
But now with AI, there's a one-person organization because AI can help you with as the COO, as the CFO, right? So it's top down, but it's also bottom up. People are learning so much more, but less people are needed at the top.
True.
So there's going to be a crunch, right?
True.
And I don't know where it's going to go. And 50 people would have 50 different ideas on where it can go. And it's mind-blowing where it already is. So how do you prepare for it? My one thing, the only thing I want to ensure, certainly, it's not just that like this is my wish for humanity is that that young people learn how to use AI properly.
Yeah.
If you hand over your reasoning to AI, you will never learn how to reason. And it will help you in the short term, but it will not help you when you've grown up, right? If it's writing the essay for you, if it's doing this. So at Liger, and Liger New Zealand actually have just developed an incredible co-intelligence curriculum, which is basically teaching students how to interact with AI before they do it at a level. And you hit certain points of mastery before you can get to the next level of using the AI. And I think their curriculum that they've developed should be in every school in the world. Honestly, I do. And not just schools. I think it should be in businesses as well. So that's my wish, is that people learn how to use it properly. It also reinforces it reinforces our experiential learning.
Right.
AI can help you in a lot of problematic situations, but AI cannot go out to the province, cannot go to Ratnakiri and talk to that minority group about the songs and the traditional songs that are going to be lost, when the older generation goes. That's where experiential learning is going to become even more important now with AI, the introduction of AI.
But I think when we talk about relearn, or you just mentioned relearn teaching, this is also for the teacher, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Because, there's, I think younger people are much more open to change.
That is true.
The older we get, we're like, oh, well, it's good enough for me. It's good enough for my child.
I'm too old to learn.
It's not good enough, and good enough is not good enough. It should be excellent.
No.
So, yes, it is a problem. If I'm not mistaken, many, many years ago, there was a policy in the US about no child left behind. So they wanted a laptop for every child.
That is true.
Do you know what happened to their international rankings in education? They dropped further down.
Yeah.
It's not the technology that is going to help them teach. It's how you introduce that technology. If you bring that laptop in and you try and use it to teach the way you've always taught, it's not going to help. You're not going to advance the education. You're bringing that technology. How can this technology teach me how to reteach? Right? So that is the challenge,
Yeah. That's actually kind of movement. Like Australia have just banned social media under 16 and stuff. So it's like the world is going so fast with technology. News always good. News always better in some cases. So we like all jumping in. Okay, technology. What do you call technology in school? Like I don't know, screen time something.
Yeah.
Where now it's in the classroom. Okay, but then there was like the social media, AI, false information. Okay, now go back. Maybe we gone too far. So now in a lot of European countries where they were actually very developed in including technology in their school, now kind of withdraw a little bit. So it's really changing in a way that we didn't expect. So it's very important that the teacher relearn teaching.
Yes.
Because otherwise the student in Liger do so many things by themselves, but it's still guided by the teacher. So if the teacher is not adapt to those changes, then the kids will also not be guided in a way that supposed to be good for their future.
Right. I think as a 21st century educator, the first thing you have to let go of is your ego.
That's true.
You need to understand you can learn from anyone and everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's something I need to learn too. I'm in the process of letting my ego go out of me a little bit. Because I always believe that my content is a quality content which everyone should watch. But now I can't compete with algorithm. So I used to say no to boosting at all. I say it's not genuine if I need to boost to get people to watch. Now I was like, I'm making good content. why
I
not
need to boost it. Yeah.
why not encourage people to watch it by boosting it?
Exactly.
While some content which I believe that have some harmful impact on the people, they were happily boosting so that other people see. So I'm still in the process of accepting that the world is changing.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, right? You are adapting.
Yeah.
And it's that adaptability and flexibility that is going to save humanity, you know, like truthfully, that's what we have to be able to adapt and be flexible.
Okay. There's so many things I wanted to ask about Liger because everything is always new to me. Like it doesn't matter how many times I go to Ligers, how many times I met the kids, I met the management. There's always something new. But let's just focus on a few things. Boarding. Because that's the thing that we don't usually have here.
Yes.
Actually, my husband went to study in Australia, his master degree. He also didn't have boarding in school.
wow.
He
Okay.
was actually renting his own apartment with his friends. Why boarding is important for like a curriculum? Because most of the kids, all of the kids before live in Liger.
Yeah.
Now a lot of the kids, if not all, because
Yep.
they do have the choice of
They
not
do.
sleeping in school. But why boarding program?
So it's still almost 90% of the students are still boarding.
Yeah.
Many of them Monday to Friday, and if they're Phnom Penh.
Yeah.
But then a lot, you know, we have students from 24 different provinces. So why boarding? This is where your life, it becomes a 24/7 curriculum then.
I know.
Right.
I used to joke like it's a military training.
Yeah. You know, I hope nicer than a military training, you know. We don't. Yeah. I don't.
It does sound a little bit like because they
Okay.
say you have to sleep at 9:30.
Yeah, well, okay, I get that. I get that.
No phone after 8.
Yeah, but that's back to helping them have self-discipline,
Right.
you know, and screen time. You need to have that time away from screens. And if it needs to be enforced, you need to have rules. There's so much new technology hitting kids now that for them to try and absorb all of it and balance all of it is really quite damaging to them, because if you get a sensory overload when you're young and you don't know how to handle it, that's going to affect you all the way through your life. We know the problems that most people around the world, young people, what is highlighted now is anxiety and depression, right? And I believe that's because they don't know how to balance their lives, a lot of it, right? So the boarding situation really helps you balance your life. They play games with each other, board games. Like that didn't, you know, that's what happened when I was growing up, you know, but it's great. They love it.
Yeah.
And the first 2 weeks when boarders come, they're like, since we've been AEPP Liger, they're like, I don't want to go on board, Mum, Dad, I'm not allowed to use my screen. And Mum and Dad are like, that's why I sent you there.
That is true.
But I can tell you, after 3-4 weeks of them being there, they're like, they don't even miss the screens.
I know.
They want to hang out with their friends. They want to play games. They want to just interact socially. And that is a huge thing for us, you know.
You know what
Also,
happened
they have chores. So they learn to live independently.
Yeah. Last week, I was with one of the mom. She was like there a long time after lunch. She was like, "You're not going home?" Yeah, my boy is still here. She was waiting to take her boys back home on a weekend. Oh my God. She was like there, like walk around and visited the school for the 5th time. Talked to the mom, talked to me. And I was like, I need to go home to find my kids. And it was like, yeah, my son is still here. He doesn't want to go home.
It's so good. And look, the other thing about boarding is you're learning constantly, because you're living in a community and then in a smaller room with like 5 other people. You have to learn how to negotiate and compromise. These are life skills. You know this. These are life skills that most children don't learn at school. So learning those when you're living with somebody. Also with the chores you're given. Mum and Dad ask you to clean the bathroom or clean your room. It's like, right?
And then the mom will do it.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're in a room with 5 of your friends, you go, guys, you need to clean the room and you need to clean your bathroom. If you don't do your bit, your other 5 friends have to do more.
True.
Guess what? You don't want your friends to have to do more. You're going to do your bit and you're going to help them out. And so they find then, okay, we're doing it all together. They find joy in that. Let's do that. Or they split the chores. I like doing that more than that. I'll do that. You do that. these are life skills. These are business skills, not just life skills. These are business skills that they are learning just through osmosis of being in that environment, right? And so they learn many, many business skills and life skills through the boarding.
Yeah, through living in the school from Monday to Friday. Yeah. How do you, I don't mean you, I mean the school, how do the school discipline the kids? Because my boys are growing up.
Yeah.
I need to learn some tips.
Well, this is, again, I think as a parent, parents always ask, how do you do it? So look, if there was one way to bring up children, there'd be one book and we'd all read it.
Yeah, I know.
Right? It just isn't. So how do we do it? We give more age-appropriate responsibility as children grow, and we have our 6 core values, integrity being at the core of that, right? So we rely on character. We build character. Like at residential, it's not just where the children live, it's how they grow.
True.
That's what we look at, and we try to create as close to a family situation as we can. So the discipline is about respect, mutual respect, and getting out of their way. Now, imagine you've got a child and you're trying to teach them how to swim. You don't go and drop them in the middle of the ocean.
Sure.
They're going to drown. So they need guardrails. So you put them in a little short swimming pool and say, swim across to this side. And you're probably in the pool with them at the beginning. Just swim a couple of strokes, right? And I've got you. They feel safe. You got them. But they're learning how to swim. And then you get to the point, I'm going to stand on the side of the pool. Okay, can you swim all the way over? Okay, they can do it. Then I'm going to stand at the end of the pool. Can you swim all the way up here? They're gaining more confidence. When it's appropriate for them, they're having more responsibility and more autonomy to do things themselves. Eventually, if they're dropped in the ocean and they can't see the sides, they're probably going to have the skill set to stay afloat and get and find their way out, right? So that's the way I see discipline is like growing up, having guardrails, and as they get older, releasing, let them grow up. But keep the guardrails and just keep them moving slightly wider and give them confidence that you're always there, but you're not always standing on top of them.
True. I think I like how, I don't know if it was on purpose or it was one of the strategy, just from noticing you really encourage the kids to do good thing and they would be rewarded on a small thing that they do. Like if they clean the room, you make it such a big deal. Like there is an Oscar winning award when they have house of the week or the month.
House of the month.
House of the month. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go on.
Because I am quite an expensive celebrity, and when I do something, it's a big deal. It's a contract of expensive payment or like a car or a house. Sometimes I get expensive things. When I went to Liger, it was just photo of me and my husband on the wall for 1 week. It's not even 1 month. It's 1 week. It's so teeny tiny bit, but oh my.
You felt special.
It was so special. The energies in the room was, I know you do not know what I talk about, because with Liger, you really need to see it to understand it. Like when they get House of the Month, I can't believe how much they scream, and it was like, and it was just a piece of paper that say House of the Month. And not to mention, this is just 1 month. Your name will change next month. That's really inspiring of how I want to raise my kids and how I would be willing to pay money for Liger to raise my kids.
That's such good insight, and it's so true. I think it's probably one of the best con jobs we did on the kids was the House of the Month for a piece of paper, like you say, and they got so excited about it, and it just meant that they had kept their house the cleanest. They had kept their electricity at a good rate. They had, done all their chores. Like But they were so proud of it.
Yeah.
They were so proud of it. And
everybody was
it's
like,
awesome.
oh no, I should have got that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it was just one piece of paper. There's not even $5 in it.
No, there was never, you don't get a pizza, you don't get money, you get this piece of paper. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the core values, you're right. Look, we gave them once a week. Friday assembly was always, Monday assembly is information, Friday assembly is celebration. And it was like a party every Friday. The atmosphere, as you say, was crazy every Friday.
Yeah, I walk from far away and I can hear
Yeah.
them clapping and screaming. Oh my God.
And that's again where real life comes in over education sometimes, right? Is that we hit on a great strategy of once a week on the Friday, a new core value was given. And we had something different, and you've seen it. Like you say, your picture was on the wall.
For 1 week.
For 1 week, because somebody else got their core value the next week. You might be lucky and be there 3-4 weeks, right? But unfortunately for you, somebody was nominated for that same core value the next week, and so
they
you
take
come
me out.
down.
Yeah.
But what happened with that is that photo comes down, and that student, that child, I hope you got it, they get to keep the photograph. And that's that memory, that core value of that time and why I got it. But the result of that is, if they're there 6 years, every single Friday, those students are hearing real reasons and seeing real demonstration of optimism or determination or integrity
or
stewardship, the 6 core values, right? And so in the end, that just sinks so deeply into them that it becomes a part of them. They're not words anymore. Like many schools have these words. I truly believe, and you can have the cohort, you can have the graduates in here, and they will tell you. In fact, when cohort 2 were graduating, we had a panel of cohort 1. And one of the questions was, do you still live by the core values? And the panel just looked at each other and they looked back and said, well, they're not something, they're just part of who we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we don't think, oh, am I still having this core value? They are part of who we are.
Blood, yeah.
And that's because largely they saw real reasons and demonstrations of those things happening once a week, not every day, because other schools go, oh, well, we'll do it every day. No, that's when education overrides reality. If more's not always better.
Yeah, true.
Right? And you do it more and it sort of lessens the impact and the reality of what that core value was given for.
Yeah.
So we hit on a very good timing, and the idea of having them in photo frames and they come down.
Brilliant.
I'm sorry you only lasted a week, Nana, but you know, I've only been in there once.
Only once?
Once.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry.
Now I feel good. Okay, I just wanted to explain that if you walk into AUPP Liger, I just wanted to say when we say Liger and AUPP Liger is the same. It's just a development from a charity foundation to a private school.
Yes.
It's a totally different subject we can talk hours about. But now when we say AUPP Liger, if you go to the school, you will see photos of the kids framed like very big. You walk in, you see like six photo. I was there for 1 week. But those are not the kids with the highest score, because that's what usually happen. Like when sometimes they put the photo of the kids who have the highest score. So this is grade A plus.
Yeah.
This is usually in every school, and even in at home. Like usually when the kids give medal, if they win like a competition, you frame at home. But at AUPP Liger, when you walk in, you see those kids. Those are the kids that have proven a value, not the score. They're not this is not to say they are A plus or 99.9, but they have proven that they are innovative, optimist, or support or help their friends. Yeah, that's the thing.
Can I give you one good example of that?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying this student got 2 core values for this, and that's possible. If somebody gets 2, you're up there for 2. We don't just go, oh, this student hasn't had one, let's give it to them. No, it's got to be real, right?
That's the one more thing I want to talk about. Okay, but please go on.
So this student, after a sports event had happened, everyone had gone off the sports field, and this student just stayed there and went around, picked up all the shuttlecocks from the badminton, got the balls. Nobody was there. They just went round, collected it all, put it away. Didn't even know anybody had seen them do it.
Yeah.
Put everything away, rolled up, did the whole thing, right? So then they were nominated for a core value for integrity and stewardship. Stewardship, you're looking after all the sports equipment. That's a more obvious one to explain, right?
Yeah.
Stewardship, because you went round, you cleaned up and you did everything. But integrity, because integrity is doing the right thing when no one else is watching.
Yeah.
You know, this student had no idea that anyone was watching. And one of the facilitators saw it happening and that's integrity. Doing that, nobody's watching. You haven't been asked to do it. You're just doing it. And
Because it's the right thing.
When the other students hear that, they're like, okay, just something like that. Right. That shows a lot. That shows integrity.
Yeah.
That shows, okay, so that's what you mean. You're right. It's not because they got 100% or it's who they are.
Yeah. And that should be rewarded.
Yeah, exactly.
And value. Yeah. So that's just teeny tiny thing about why Liger curriculum was so special, because it's not about how they study, it's how they grow up,
Yes.
how they insert those value within them and understand it, because these are big words.
Yeah, they are.
Like integrity, I don't even know how to translate it in proper Khmer term, let alone understand it. But when you saw the kids and you say you get this because of this, it's so easy to understand. It's not even complex. And and once your picture is up there, it's it does really feel like a walk of faith.
Right? Yeah.
It feels so good. My husband should do more work. We should be there one more week. Okay. That's the one of the thing that is very different and I saw. But I wanted to also talk about individualization for the kids, because that also something very special. Again, I haven't really been able to talk to you for 2 hours straight like this. Usually we meet each other for like 5 minutes and you have to go here and I have to go there. We're all very busy. So I understand that the kids, when they have to prepare for university, for example, they actually start preparing themselves since grade 10, right? 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
For example, if plan A, they wanted to do this, it's also very individualized.
Yes, for sure.
Lesson being planned for them, right? Can you tell us
I
a little
think
bit
many
more
schools,
about
and I
that?
think probably one of the most damning statistics is, and I don't know what it is now because this was several years ago I looked at this, but at the time, only roughly 18% of graduates from university end up working in the field in which they got their degree in. And that doesn't that tell you something? Right? There's something wrong there.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do was flip that paradigm and have like maybe 18% of the Liger students who went to university are not working in the field that they're interested enough to do a degree in or that led on to the new job, right? And that a lot of people go to university to grow up.
That is true.
The kids are growing up here at Liger. They historically, they've learned how to cook. They've learned how to budget. They've learned how to look after themselves. They've learned how to do their chores. So they already
they make product.
They're way ahead of so many other people in their age through this learning. So I think it is it's very important that they understand their pathway. University is one pathway. That may become even less with AI coming in. I know Khan Academy has announced they're going to release their own AI university, within a year. So we don't know where that's going. But to understand your pathway is really important. So at grade 11, they do a very in-depth student interest survey.
Oh, student interest survey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that will punch out like 10 different jobs, most of which I've never heard of. Right, my age, it's too late. So the students would research those. And we're like, if you're not very honest about who you are in this survey, you will not get an honest reflection of what possible jobs you might be interested in.
Okay.
Right? So they do that, and then they get these 10 jobs, and then go and research all those. Well, this is what the algorithm will give them, 10 different areas, right?
My God.
Then they would go and research those. Do any of those sound of any interest to you? No, 2 of them do. Okay, well, if you were going to do that, do you need a degree? Okay, now research what degree you would need.
Yeah.
Now, if you need that degree, research what country is best known
For that.
and then what university, right? So all that research is them learning to have long-term plans, right? And strategize for after they graduate. Not like 3 months in grade 12 before you go, let's have work jobs and let's talk about what you want to do and where you're going to go to university, right? So it's much more thorough, it's much more thought out. There will be internships. You'll be getting interns coming.
I already got one. Right there.
Okay, good. And
You
yes,
see?
exactly.
You see, he's still
Yes,
here.
I'm still here. And internships are as much about realizing you don't want to do something as much about learning as you do want to do.
That is true.
We had a young lad, again, to give you an example, because this is, again, I'm sorry, I keep jumping into real life examples, but that's what that's what
make Liger,
education is,
yeah.
right? It is real life examples. So he came, I want to be a doctor. Okay. Then, grade 8, I want to be a doctor. Grade 9, yep, doctor. Got into grade 10, doctor. Got in grade 11, doctor. Okay, here's your internship. You're going to this hospital, you're going to do your internship there. Came back from the internship, said,
I don't want to be
I'm
doctor.
not going to be a doctor. That was horrible. Well, lucky you didn't go to medical school for 7 years.
Oh my God.
Right? It's
Oh,
important. But real life is what teaches them.
Okay, so you give them a test of what it would be like through internship before they have their high school exam.
Exactly.
Again, that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
That's how I know I wanted to be a public speaker.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so just for those of you who don't know what I was pointing to, we are doing podcast now, and we have a grade 9 kids. Oh, there's so many things I want to talk about because today is Wednesday, and Wednesday they don't have class, which is very strange. So he's here, sitting here, observing how the podcast is being made or being produced, being filmed, how the lighting is set. He have his camera, he's doing behind the scene. He's grade 9, and he will be doing podcast for his school later on. This is how Liger kids learn. And I have to always say kids.
Yeah,
I know
like
they
that.
look very grown
like
up,
that.
but I have to stress that they are kids. They're so young. Yeah, well, they look mature, but they're very young, so I have to say kids. So this is some of the example of how you prepare for after university, so that you don't have to ask, okay, I have finished high school. What should I
do? Yeah.
do? What is the market needs in this budget? What should I invest? But the kids at Liger already learned this and prepared this from when they were high school.
And we work closely with the families at this point,
Sure.
right? Because families have certain expectations for their children. So what we walk through with the student and the family is this pathway that you're interested in, is it a good fit academically? Is it a good fit physically, environmentally, where you're going, psychologically,
Yeah.
right? And financially.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to look at all those. And through doing that, we've always come to a mutual understanding and agreement with student, with family,
Yeah.
and with staff about what would be the best initial pathway.
Yeah.
And I say initial pathway because
They will change.
yeah, the
It
days
could change.
of when I left school and you're going to get that job and that's going to you'll retire when you're 60. They're going to change jobs, and jobs that we have no idea what they're going to be.
That's true.
If there are going to be any jobs, or AI is going to take,
We don't know.
and if I'm not scared about that, because I think that is when humanity will have to reinvent why we are here.
Yeah.
Maybe not just to make money. We're going to have to think other things, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Okay, my husband gave a sign that it's lunchtime. So and I haven't asked 20% of his question. Okay, I wanted to ask one more question, and if you answer good, I will ask another one. So it's really
Now you put
depends
the
on you.
pressure on me now. If you don't ask another question, I know I've let you down. Oh.
Okay, now that Liger is a private school, it's now AUPP Liger Leadership Academy. So people would pay to study.
Yes.
And the amount of money alone for middle class might be high. So I would categorize it as a little bit high level of you know payment. So of course people have also high expectation on you.
Yep.
You know, because that's the one thing that my husband and I, as much as we love education, we wanted to do this way rather than school, because we are afraid of the level of responsibility that parents would put on us. So we're not as brave as you. See where I'm going?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but even if you pay, you still have to interview to enter Liger, correct?
Yes.
Because I heard this term called Liger fits.
Yeah, Liger fit.
Yeah. Liger fits. What are the character you look for, or when you interview it, both the kids and the parents? Because I understand that you also interview the parents, even if they pay for the school. What is Liger fits?
You know, that's the $1 million question.
I
right?
know.
And whoo. I think, like, if I explain it sort of just in natural terms first and then a little bit what we look for.
Yeah.
What we want to ensure is that the environment that the child is coming into is the right environment for how they could learn.
Yeah.
And what we need to understand is that the family understands that this is going to be different. That they understand that the school is a right fit for them as well, and their aspirations of what they want. If they want math medals and they want to know, you know, they want to know that their child is number one in class every month or every year, we don't do that, because only one person's number one.
Yeah.
And then everyone else feels like they haven't achieved. We want children to be their best, not the best.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a variety of that. And the person who's best at communication and going out and doing projects might not be the person who's best at math.
True.
But everybody fits in, and then everybody has a place, right? And how they go together. And you're always, life is competitive, so you're competing against yourself, really, to be a better person and to push yourself and always put in your best effort.
Yeah.
If it's your best effort, then nobody can reproach you for that, right? Nobody can blame you for that. That's the best I can do. Okay, great. Let's try and help you make your best better, right? So the fit is, academically, the fit is really understanding the experiential learning and going around. In terms of what are we looking for? We're looking for, I guess if I had to boil it down to one word, it's probably curiosity. We need a student who's going to be curious. Like there's something more coming, or there's something more out there. I don't know what it is, but I'd like to find out. I'd like to try and find out.
And
I think this is, and I think that's the whole thing about there's so much through school that kills students' curiosity and children's curiosity. No, that's the right answer. That's the wrong answer, right? Especially when you're doing experiential learning, there's usually not a right or wrong answer, right? It's just like, keep trying. Like, where did you get to? Where did you get to? And the thing about experience, we need people to understand that experience, we don't throw out the school books. We don't throw out the books. You've got to do that. We've got to have the core subjects covered, but we teach them differently too.
Yeah.
But experience, your brain embeds the code deeper if you experience something. If you're wrestling with a problem, your brain embeds that code deeper than if you just read the solution.
True.
It stays with you longer.
Yep.
You know, there's a reason why we say, I don't know if you have this saying in Khmer, like, it's like riding a bike. You say, if you ride a bike, you never forget how to ride a bike.
That's true.
Right?
You cannot unlearn it.
You could go 20 years later and you can ride that bike.
True.
Let's say you've never ridden a bike. I'll give you 100 books to read on how to ride a bike. And you'll understand the science and the equilibrium needed and the gravitational pull. Oh, I'm an expert on riding a bike.
Yeah.
You get on a bike, you're going to fall off.
Yeah.
You will only learn it by doing it. So that's the fit. Are you willing to go out there and learn it by doing, and learn a different way and change? We're going to be flexible. If we say that we've got it all worked out now and we don't adapt with what's happening now, you know, in the world with AI, then we are part of the problem that we wanted to sort of help solve, right?
Yeah.
We are living in the past. We've got to keep changing as well.
like you said, keep changing. That's the thing that parents have to accept as well, because they may go to visit the school now, because I'm also your brand ambassador or your advertiser.
Yes.
The school changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like before 2 years ago, you never have entrepreneur showcase. This is the first time. So the parents have to also be ready that when you register your kid now, but yes, you pay this amount of money, but this is what we are going to teach your kids. But it might change in 5 years. It might change if your kid is 7th grade now. It might change when they are in 9th grade.
Exactly right.
Yeah, because the world is changing.
Yeah.
If the parent would be willing to say, okay, because the school sees that this is necessary now. It wasn't necessary when I brought my kids 3 years ago.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And if we don't change, we're doing a disservice to your child.
True.
Right.
Yeah, because we also don't want, as an advertiser, we also don't want you to say, no, but 3 years ago you didn't say you have this class.
Exactly.
Yeah, because 3 years ago this was not important. We didn't need it. Now we need it.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you the next question.
Oh, so that one was good enough. I got away. I did it. Yes.
Yes.
I was waiting. I thought you were going to say goodbye. I was like,
Okay, Dom. You know what? I can talk with Caroline. I can talk with Jen. It will be another 2 different hours of different aspect of Liger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now I understand that AUPP Liger is opening a primary school.
Yes.
Because that's the preparation that might specially need. I talk about this a million times. I know you're tired of hearing this, but it's true.
No.
Back when I know Liger was a foundation and you only enroll once every 4 years, and it need to be for a less fortunate kids. I actually did plan my merit and my family planning of when to have kids to fit the enrollment schedule. That's how bad I want my kids to prepare for Liger before we got married. Because back
Did you
then
know
he was in
that?
Australia. He approved that.
Okay.
So now that it's open, so every year we can drop our kids there.
Yes.
But because AUPP Liger is a secondary school, so there is also a special preparation if, for example, some of the parents, myself included, and a few parents I know that because Liger used to be just secondary and high school, we were like, okay, now they are in grade this and that. How we prepare this? But now that Liger will open, is opening primary school. Does that mean that this is a more structured preparing smaller kids for Liger?
I mean, that's a great question. I think there's one major distinction here. AUPP is opening the new primary school. It does not run a Liger curriculum.
Right.
So that's a major distinction.
Okay.
It's not the Liger curriculum. The Liger
because the Liger curriculum is the secondary school.
Is the secondary school and has been ratified by the government and has been accepted under a practice of law as equivalent to the grade 12 baccalaureate. And our students can go to Cambodian University without sitting the grade 9 or grade 12 exams.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
So that's the Liger curriculum. The primary school is in the same campus, so it's going to be at AUPP Liger Leadership Academy. It's not the Liger curriculum, but it has to serve, and it will serve as an excellent feeder into the Liger curriculum, right? So they're already working on some very unusual topics in the primary school.
Okay, so now my
introducing entrepreneurship and economics and digital literacy,
and AI.
And technology. Yeah, exactly. So it of course it's going to be a great feeder school. It has to be built as a great feeder school. They're just building that, and I think everything we just said about the Liger curriculum is now the primary school curriculum. If you put your child in there, it's going to develop as it goes, but of course it needs to be a feeder into the secondary, into a Liger curriculum. So there's a lot of thought being given to that about how they would move in. Now, the great thing about primary school is there is so much more flexibility.
True.
Because there's no external exams. It's what you want to do and how you want to have these children prepared for where they're going to go next, right? So there's less, primary school teachers are going to hate me for this, but there's less pressure externally, teachers, I'm not saying it for you, but externally, there's less mandatory things than there are when you move into secondary. And we sort of ripped up the rule book, as you have done with algorithms, with your podcast and everything, So we ripped up the rule book and said, no, there is time to do all of this in secondary school. They're going to be looking at that in primary school. It's not just, again, we need students who are coming to secondary school, it's not just about what they know, it's about who they are.
Yeah.
Because what I always used to say is like, who you are determines what you do with what you know.
That is true.
If you are brought up that knowledge is power and keep it to yourself, then if you have that power, you're going to keep everything to yourself. But if you're brought up through Liger and go, knowledge should be shared, and knowledge, if you share that, you'll get more knowledge, and your position will be more powerful.
Yeah.
Then that determines, what you do with the knowledge that you have. So the whole point, and you mentioned right at the beginning, so it's great to come back to this. It's going to be a full ecosystem.
Okay.
That's what we need to build.
Yeah. Because my kid is now in the age of primary school.
Come along.
Perfect timing. See, so we did actually plan our family life properly.
Was it your idea to start a primary school?
Maybe. Oh my God, I haven't asked this. I haven't asked this.
I talk a lot, sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, we did great. I think we did my husband proud. And I just wanted to give one example for our viewer. We have our 9th grade here. He's been here, but I like it. And that is a perfect leading by example. What you just mentioned, I noticed, like I said, every time I meet you, I meet the kids, there's always something new. Before we begin this podcast about 2.5 hours ago, you asked him, you want to stay until the end or you want to go? Yeah. And you asked us, do you need them? You let him making decision of whether or not he want to observe this podcast.
Yeah.
My stuff, I have to say, you sit here and observe and learn to do content. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so good. And I need that for my kids, at least for my kids. I can't say for all the parents.
I love that.
I don't know what to say. I thank you so very much as a mom, as a Cambodian citizen. And actually, you inspire us to do more for our country, because we kind of feel, no, that's not fair. The fact that you are a foreigner doing more than us, that's not right. So you inspire us to do more. No, it's true. It's true. And my husband probably love you a little bit more than me for the time being. You see, he say it's true. I know my husband well. He was very excited all the time when he came back from meeting you or anything. You always have something impressed to talk about, and that is such an inspiration, because I know what to do, but sometimes you feel like the world is so messed up that you kind of feel there's nothing you can do. And then we see you, and then we talk to you, and then we see the kids, and then we talk to the kids, and
it's the kids.
And all of this. So thank you very much from the bottom of our heart. And this is the least we can do. You deserve so much more. And thank you.
Nana, it's
so
very
much.
Humbling, and I'm honoured to sort of be asked to come along and have a chat. And yeah, it's the longest talk we've had. I just loved it, and it's the same goes for me. Every time I meet you and Panya, it's uplifting for me. It's incredible. And you always play down your role, and Panya always plays down his. You have been incredible. We would not be right here today if it were not for the two of you and what you've given and the support that you've thrown behind and the belief that you have in us. So
no, we just wanted to keep you for our kids. We wanted you to sustain, because we need our kids there. So that we can both go to holidays and travel the world and relearn our parenting.
There we go. We're never too old, right?
All right. Thank you, Dom. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching.